Welcome everyone. As we're getting started, we're going to get started in just a moment and wait for the room to fill up. We're happy to have you here for this webinar on unlocking your career potential and strategies for growth and success. If you want to let us know, you can let us know in the chat where you're joining from and maybe something that you're excited about coming up in life. My name is Jennifer Bongora, and we will get started in just for a moment. I work with Nexford University as a director of career innovation, and again, we're so happy to have you here. We'll get started in just a moment as we have folks fill up in the room. So looking forward to talking about how to unlock your career potential and strategies for growth and success. So again, if you want to, okay, we have folks joining from Thelma's in Kenya. We have Claudia in London. I'm joining from Malawi. I think we have good representation across the continent. You know, we have colleagues in South Africa and Egypt and some, I know maybe not present, but in Nigeria. So welcome. Jemima as well. Looking forward to this conversation today and really happy to have you all here. So why don't we go ahead and get started? I hope if you can put in the chat a thumbs up. Can you see my screen? I just want to make sure and touch base before we get through the presentation and I find out you're not able to see what we're sharing here. Wonderful. So throughout, we'll have a overview here, but you are at the webinar for unlocking your career potential and strategies for career success. And throughout the webinar, we want this to be interactive. So please share your questions in the Q&A box that's at the bottom of your Zoom screen, whether you're on your phone or desktop, however you're accessing the webinar. And we'd love to collect those questions in the Q&A so we can answer them at the end of the session. And because the chat can get a little busy and we don't want to miss any of your questions. And we will have someone from our team monitoring that so we make sure not to miss anything. We're excited to have you here. So here's a brief overview of what we're going to talk about today. We will get started with some introductions, talk about what it means to build a strong personal brand. We'll move into navigating career transitions, talk about networking, some of the critical skills for career success, and setting achievable career goals. We have our colleague Mai on the webinar who's going to give you a brief virtual tour, which is exciting. So you can see what the Nexford University learning experience is like. And then we will have time for a live Q&A. So please don't be shy with your questions. Keep them coming. And welcome to everyone, Sophie, Daisy, Claudia, Yvonne, Nancy. We're so glad that you're here. So to get started, we have an exciting guest with us today. So my name is Jennifer Bongora, and like I said, I'm Nexford University's Director of Career Innovation. And we are really honored to have Joan, the career coach, with us. Hundreds of thousands of followers across her social media platforms, and a true voice of career success and how to navigate your career. So Joan, thank you so much for being here, and you can go ahead and come online because we'll go ahead and get started. Again, we're hosting this webinar as part of Nexford University's outreach and connecting with you all. And we're really happy to have you here today, Joan. Thank you so much. So I will turn it over to you to talk about building a strong personal brand.
Thank you so much, Jennifer, and thank you so much, Nexford. Hi, everybody. I'm so excited and privileged to be a part of this. I love talking about everything career related. So I'm happy to be here. I'm happy that all of you guys have joined. So to start us off, I want to ask you guys a question. If you're, some of us are students only, some of us are students and working. So I want to ask you, and especially if you're currently working, the job that you do, did you stumble upon it or did you choose it? And maybe you can tell me in the comment section. So let's make use of the comment section. So let me know the job that you're currently in, did you stumble upon it or did you choose it? You can't tell me it's a bit of both. You know, where does it lean, you know, towards? Is it like you chose it or you stumbled upon it? So I can see most of us are saying we chose it. Please let me know in the comment section. And the second question I want to ask you, the job that you do, is it work that you are passionate about? Is it work that is in line with your strengths, your skills, and your purpose? Is it work that excites you? So please tell me in the comment section. So you're telling me two things. The work that you do, did you choose it or did you stumble upon it? And then number two, that work, is it work that excites you? Is it work that fires you up? Is it the fire in your belly? Is it work that is in line with your strengths, your skills, and your passions? Claudia tells me, very passionate about my role. Claudia, I hope your boss is not on this call because that can skew your response. Jennifer, lots of passion in the virtual room. Wow, yes, I agree. Please let me know. Please let me know. All right, Claudia, I believe you. I'm passionate about my work. Yvonne Omari, thank you. I'm passionate about my job and it's an exciting opportunity. Please let me know in the comment section, did you choose your job or did you stumble upon it? And is it work that is in line with your strengths, your skills, and your passions? Is it work that excites you? Please let me know in the comment section. We are about 32, and I think I've just seen comments from about like maybe less than 10 people. Please let me know in the comment section. Please let me know. Nduta, you're saying you stumbled upon it, not passionate, and you feel like you feel like I think you meant you can't do it anymore. I chose it. This is Martin Kahiga. I chose it. I'm a business development manager and work remotely for Grib. Can I pronounce that word? Gibraltar company, and I'm based in Kenya. Okay. Well, it's not in line with my passion, but I love it because I learn a lot. That's Thema Migwe. Thank you very much for that response. So even before we talk about building a personal brand, because today we're talking about unlocking your career potential. And even before we start, we need to make sure that the work that you're doing needs to be work that is in line with your strengths, your skills, and your passions. So let me give you an example. If today someone offered me a job and paid me $1 billion and told me to supply medicine in different, pharmaceutical companies and hospitals across the world, and they'd pay me in billions, that work would not give me any joy because that's not work that is in line with my strengths, my skills, and my passions, and I don't derive any meaning from that kind of work. So I want you to, if you have a pen and paper, I want you to, number one, try and think what kind, the work that you're doing now, is it work that you enjoy doing? Is it work that is in line with your strengths, your skills, and your passions? And if it's not, work that is in line with your strengths, your skills, and your passions, and it's not work that excites you, then we cannot talk about building a personal brand, because you need to get clear about what the direction of your career needs to be. So let me just repeat that again. Even before we talk about building your personal brand, you need to be sure, you need to be very clear about your career trajectory. You need to be very sure that the work that you're currently doing, it's work that is in line with your strengths, your skills, and your passions. It's work that you derive meaning from. It's work that is in line with your mission. So that then when you, whatever it is that you're doing, whether it's business development or it's marketing or it's HR or it's operations, there's some meaning that you derive from that kind of work. I have met so many people who come for career coaching sessions and they tell me, you know, like, I've been working for the past 20 years, I've been doing this thing and I'm paid well, but I'm just not happy. And most of the times, if you're not happy with the job that you're doing, in as much as maybe it's paying well, it means there's a discrepancy between meaning and the work that you're doing, so that then you're not able to attach meaning to the work, and that makes you not passionate about the work that you do. So getting clear about the work and getting clear about the career trajectory and getting clear that the work that you're doing, it aligns with your strengths, your skills, and your passions, it's very paramount. And then now, number two, how do you then build a strong personal brand that is around work which is in line with your strengths, your skills, and your passions? And let me repeat and say, when I'm talking about building a personal brand, it has got to be around work that is in line with your strengths, your skills, and your passions. So that if you're telling me today to build a personal brand around marketing, I wouldn't succeed, because I'm not a marketer, I'm a career coach. And I know many people normally fail, because then sometimes you're trying to build a personal brand on something that is not does not have any clarity. So basically, what I'm trying to say is that if you try and build a personal brand, if the foundation is not correct, then it's like you're building a house on a very shaky foundation. So it's not going to work. So what are some of the things that you want to consider when building a strong personal brand? And I want to skew my conversation around LinkedIn. There are so many platforms that you can use to build a strong personal brand. And because we are living in a very, in a strong digital era, I feel the LinkedIn is going to be most useful for most of us. And it's going to go a long way to help you build a strong personal brand, whether you're a student only, or you're a student and working, or or even if you're someone who is an entrepreneur, or you're self-employed, whatever category you are in. The LinkedIn profile is a very strong tool that you can really use and maximize to build a strong personal brand. But even before we get to that, what is a personal brand, and what is a strong personal brand? And maybe you can tell me in the comment section, when you think about a personal brand, or when you think of the word brand, what's the first thing that comes to your mind? When you hear the word brand, what is the first thing that comes to your mind? Jennifer says, what people know you for. Thank you. Thomas says, reputation. Thank you. Welcome, Joram. So when you think about brand, or when you think about personal brand, what's the first thing that comes to your mind? Ajayi says, your identity. I like the responses. Please let me know. Thelma, is it me, John the career coach, or you? I don't think I quite understand. Nyagudi says image. Daisy says, what I identify most with and what others can identify me with too. When you think about the personal brand, what do you mean? Thelma says, personal brand means you as the person, you are the brand. Identity, Yvonne, thank you. Hilary says, reputation coupled with skills, with a skill set that one is selling. So the word reputation has come up often. Identity, you as a, the self identity, image, The others, what do we think? Image and visibility. I love the words. Let's continue. Let's keep going. If you've not typed anything, I'm waiting for you. Positioning, Yvonne, thank you. When you think about the personal brand, what's the first thing that comes to your mind? An umbrella of ideas exhibited in a brand. My brand is what I'm known for, what you stand for, identity, what I'm good at, and I am known for it. Let's keep going. If you've not typed anything in the chat box, please do not leave this webinar and you have not typed it. You'll be doing a disjustice to yourself. Selling yourself professional talent. Thank you, Bernard. When you think about the term personal brand, what comes to your mind? Reputation, identity, what you're known for, visibility, positioning, your image. The message you're trying to communicate as a person. So I love all your responses, and what distinguishes you from others? I love that, Makungu. So I love your responses. We are very right. We are very right as we try and define what a personal brand is. So for me, when I think about a personal brand, for many years, and I would go as, as maybe like five years ago, I'm sure 5 years ago, there are so many terminologies today because we're in 2023. So let me even say 2019, or even 2018, there are certain terminologies that in 2018 you will never have thought of, and if these terms were there, they probably did not carry a lot of weight, like the term personal brand. If I told you in 2018 that social media was going to be a thing, a very big thing in 2023, maybe we knew it was going to be big, but not as big as it is. And I think COVID somewhat catapulted us to the future. So that then now, because of what happened in 2020, everything, almost everything went online. And so, we are having so many people being hired online, so many interviews over Zoom, so many remote jobs available. And now having a personal brand is something that is so important. It's so important that sometimes if you're selling, be it like dresses or shoes or like a service, if you don't have any presence online, it's almost as if you do not exist. And you'll bear me witness. Sometimes, if you want to buy even if it's like a handbag or shoes, if the person you're buying from does not have a page, you won't think they are legit. And I'm sure this is not something that used to happen, like 5 years ago. So it's like having that online presence rubber stamps your that you're like you're not a con artist, and that you are actually like a legit business person. And so having that personal brand has become so vital, whether you're a businesswoman, whether you're an entrepreneur, whether you're self-employed, whether you're a student or you're looking for a job. Having a brand is important. A brand is not something that is only for like Coca-Cola or IBM or Microsoft or universities or FMCG companies or the UNs and the World Banks. All of us can build and can start building a personal brand. And one of the easiest ways of starting this journey of building a personal brand is having a LinkedIn profile. And I know some of us, if I was to ask you, and you can tell me in the comment section, number one, do you have a LinkedIn profile? And number two, how active are you on LinkedIn? Do you use it once a week, Do you use it once a day? Do you use it once a month? And then number 3, when was the last time you updated anything on LinkedIn? Please tell me on the comment section. And please note, I'm not asking about Facebook. I'm not asking about Instagram. I'm not asking about TikTok. I'm asking about LinkedIn for a reason. So the first question, do you have a LinkedIn profile? So Hillary says yes. Hillary, how active are you on LinkedIn? And when was the last time you updated anything or posted anything on LinkedIn? So Claudia, you say yes and very active. I use it every day. It has been updated just a couple of days ago. All right, thank you for that. Bonjubola, you say I have a profile but not very active. How about the rest of us? Do you have a profile or not? Beatrice says you have. Yes, I have. Yes, last post was a repost today. Oh, wow. That's Yumi. Ezekiel says yes, but not very active, but I visit often. So you are a silent follower on LinkedIn. Edwin, you say yes, twice or 3 times a week. Thelma, yes, I have a LinkedIn profile, very active. I use it every day, all right. I use it every day, read articles. I only shared World Bank live event recently. Hillary, thank you. I use LinkedIn daily. I only post when I'm inspired. Got a job from LinkedIn. I post regularly. Thank you so much, Martin. So having a LinkedIn profile, number 1, is so important as, you know, if you are trying to build a personal brand. And this is because it's an online platform that number 1, you're able to keep a record of, you know, the places where you have worked and your accomplishments. And even if you're not looking for a job, I can go up to your LinkedIn profile and see who you are and what you're about. Because every day, thousands of recruiters and hiring managers across the world are on LinkedIn profile looking for people with your strengths, your skills, your passions, your talents, your experiences. So every day that you do not have a LinkedIn profile, every day your profile is inactive, every day that you don't take advantage of LinkedIn, you are doing a disservice to your personal brand. Because then you see what happens with the LinkedIn profile, whether or not you're applying for jobs, your profile is just, it's there. So you don't need to like send it out somewhere. It's there online. So I can find me as a recruiter, me as a hiring manager, I can go to LinkedIn and I can find your profile and I can call you for an interview. If there's anything that COVID taught us, it's that anything can happen, because like none of us, you know, dreamt that a time would come and there'd be COVID in the world and everything would come to a halt. And during COVID, so many people lost their jobs. And there are people who lost their jobs during COVID, and up until now, they've not been able to recover. There are people who got jobs during COVID and they are thriving now more than ever. There are people who did not lose their jobs at all. There are people who went from being employed to working from home. But one thing is constant. The people who had strong personal brands, the people who are able to survive that adversity, and the people who are able to adapt quickly during COVID are the people who had previously built a strong personal brand. And this personal brand could have been in terms of their LinkedIn profile, which is online. This personal brand could have been in terms of their CV. Because then the CV is the physical document that you can use to send out a job application. It's a physical document that you can also like use to even apply for courses in the university, like master's or PhD. It's a document that you can use to apply for attachment, for projects, for consultancy gigs. So I want you to tell me on the comment section, do you currently have an updated CV? And are you proud of the document that you have? I wish it was possible for me to see and sample some of the CVs that you currently have. But if you can please tell me on the comment section, do you currently have a CV, and is it one that you are, is it a document that you're proud of? Because then, the other thing that is so important is your CV or your cover letter, when you send it out, it's going to go before you. So it's what is going to give you visibility or not. Because if you send me your CV and you've misspelled your name and you've even misspelled the word curriculum vitae, already the hiring manager and the recruiter would have a negative impression about you and who you are. So the CV and the cover letter also, those two documents will go a long way in terms of building your personal brand. So Ezekiel, you're saying, yes, I have a CV and update it regularly. Claudia, you say, yes, I have a portfolio. It is how I introduce my services. Thank you. How about the rest of us? I have a CV and I'm not proud of it. So it means then if you send it, it's not going to be a good representation of your brand. Yes, I have a CV and I'm not proud of it. So what you want to do after this session is you want to review your LinkedIn profile if you currently have one. Is it well updated in terms of the profile picture, the cover photo, the work experiences? Have you put all the places where you went to school, the title on the LinkedIn profile? If I'm looking for a marketing director, a marketing executive, and that is what you do, can I find your profile? If are you proud of your CV? If someone was to ask you for it today, can you send it? Is it a good representation of who you are and what you're about? If your CV, your cover letter, your LinkedIn profile is amiss, then your personal brand is amiss. Because remember, when I'm reading your CV, when I'm reading your LinkedIn profile, you're not there to tell me why the photo on your LinkedIn profile, you're wearing a t-shirt and you're holding a beer can. You're not there to explain. You're not there to explain why the profile picture it's dark and you're facing away. So I mean, like we can't see your face on the profile picture that you've put on LinkedIn, or you can't explain why your cover photo on LinkedIn is a picture of a coffee plantation and you're a medical doctor, because then it doesn't make any sense. So what I want the takeout to be from this is, when you think about building a personal brand, think about your LinkedIn profile and how you can use it and maximize it to getting jobs and making sure that you're visible online, and then also your CV and your cover letter. Then the next thing that I want us to talk about, so maybe what we can do, if you have any questions, maybe around building a strong personal brand, you could just share in the comment section, and then I will I will just answer at the end. So the next thing that we are going to talk about is networking. And I want to ask a question, and maybe you can tell me in the comment section. I don't know if you've ever heard of the different personalities. So we normally have different personalities. So we have the sanguines, we have the cholerics, and we have the melancholies, and we have the phlegmatics. So if you know what your personality is, please tell me in the comment section. So I will start with myself. So I know I'm a choleric melancholy. So I'm half choleric and half melancholy. The choleric personality is, type A personality, very bossy. We like getting things done. We are very structured. Sometimes we can lack in empathy. Sometimes we can be controlling. So that's a bit about the choleric personality. The melancholy is very laid back. We are so much into our feelings. I know, for one, I don't thrive where if I'm in a group of people, it really sucks my energy and I need to retract after spending time with, with people. So I don't know if you've ever done a personality test and you know what your personality is. Are you a choleric? Are you a melancholy? Are you a phlegmatic, or are you a sanguine? The sanguine personality is the life of the party. You derive energy from people, as opposed to the melancholy, who being with people sucks all your energy, but the sanguine, you thrive when you're around so many people. The phlegmatic is the personality that is most reserved. So they are really laid back, they are really quiet, they take time to make decisions. So please let me know what your personality is in the comment section. Are you extroverted? Are you introverted? And if you know your exact temperament, like are you a choleric? Are you a melancholy? Are you a phlegmatic? Or are you a sanguine? Please let me know in the comment section. Guys, please let's engage. Thema, you're telling me you're an ambivert. Someone else who knows what their personality is, please let's engage so that I know we are together. And Duta says she's a melancholic. Please let me know. Edwin says he's a sanguine. And if you know the exact combination, because most of us have two combinations. So like I know I'm a choleric male. I'm a stoic. I don't know what stoic means. Maybe you can enlighten us. Protagonist, Thomas. Is it, so I want to tell me, are you introverted or are you extroverted? I think most of us don't know the different types of personalities, but I want you to tell me, are you an extrovert? Are you an introvert or are you an ambivert in the middle? Elizabeth says you are melancholy sanguine. Sophie says you're introvert. Ezekiel says introvert. Elizabeth says extrovert. Daisy says ambivert. So when you think about networking and building professional relationships, Claudia says melancholic, phlegmatic, that is Jemima. Martin says sanguine. Thomas is asking me to expound. An introvert, extroverted, introvert. What I would advise you to do, just if you can Google the personality types, and then because there are so many nice tests online. So if you take those tests online, they'll be able to show you whether you're a phlegmatic or you're melancholic or you're a choleric or you're a sanguine, because this is going to go a long way when you're talking about networking and building professional relationships. Because if you're a sanguine, you are not going to suffer in any kind of way when you think about networking and building relationships, because it's right up your alley. So you don't have any problem approaching people and saying, hi, my name is Yvonne, and this is what I do. And I love working in my organization, and it gives me joy because of 1, 2, and 3. And I'm trying to expand my networks, and I came across your profile, and it really excited me because of 1, 2, 3. Would you mind if we, organize a coffee date to discuss this further? A sanguine is not going to struggle to approach someone and ask for a meetup. A sanguine is not going to struggle to bring up conversations. A sanguine is not going to struggle to go visit a colleague who just got a baby with flowers, and they're talking and they're laughing. They're not going to struggle at all. Now let's go to the phlegmatics or the melancholy, people who are males. We normally call them males. And we like our personal space so much. In fact, maybe you can tell me in the comment section, are you the kind of person, when your phone rings, you're already getting anxiety and you're waiting for that person to hang up so that you can text them and tell them to text? And every time you see your phone ringing, you are literally getting anxious, and you just don't like phone calls, and you prefer your personal space, and you just do not like being with people. If you're to go in a room full of people, you're not going to be the first person to go and start conversations with people. So Claudia says yes, it also depends who is calling. That's true. But I know if it's someone who you don't know, it's going to, it just makes you anxious. So many phlegmatics and many people who have the male personality we would really struggle with networking and building professional relationships. So understanding your personality is going to help you now know this is my personality, but I cannot make it stand in the way of me building personal relationships. Because remember, your network is your net worth. And these relationships are going to go such a long way, even if you're, if you plan to run a business or you're currently employed, professional relationships are going to be so important to even help you move up the career ladder. I remember when I was employed and I was, my name was handed in for like a promotion. I'm not the one who went to tell the boss of my boss that I want this promotion. Someone else talked on my behalf. And the reason why they did that and they vouched for me so strongly is because of the relationship that I had with them. And people are going to call it different things. Some people will say, it's kissing. Like I'm not so good at, I don't want to use bad language, but I'm not very good at making myself look good in front of the bosses. But what is really important is, can you think of ways of building strong professional relationships at work? And this would look something like your boss has just had a baby and you're sending diapers and you're sending flowers and you're sending a card. When you see like a colleague is down, you're going and you're like offering conversation, and you're asking, how are you? So that then every time you're having a conversation with someone, it's not all the time you're asking for something, because we are living in times when most of us, it's like we want to get things from people, but we never want to give value. We always want to get value, but we don't want to give value. So many relationships are so plastic and they don't end up going anywhere. So what you want to do, and like what is usually at the core of building strong professional relationships, be a person of value. And be a person of value to your boss, be a person of value to your colleague, be a person of, like a person of value to even a stranger, that you've met. One of the, interesting things that you want to try and do, especially if you're introverted, is every time you meet someone new, approach them and ask them, hi, can I tell you something interesting? Have you ever thought, of like an egg? So, because life normally starts from the, like from the inside out. But then you see, like, when you break an egg, like, it's like life ends. Or you can, like you can read an interesting quote, or you can think of an interesting story that you'd want to share. Or maybe, there's something interesting that you've read in a book. So every time think, if I approach this person and I want to tell them something interesting, what's the one thing that I can tell them about my, my career or something interesting that I learned? And then you become, like you become someone of value, and you can become, a person of value, whether you're with someone for like a second or 5 minutes or 20 minutes. So knowing what your personality is going to go a long way to help you now know what are the actionable steps that I can do to try and build strong professional relationships, because the sanguines are not going to struggle. The cholerics also might not struggle in building professional relationships, but the melancholies and the phlegs would really struggle in networking, because then if you go in a room full of people, you are not going to be the first person to approach. So it means then if you're going for a work mixer, you'll be at the corner and you're not going to get any contacts, you're not going to build any relationships, and you actually end up going home feeling so bad, because then there are so many wasted opportunities. When you're sending out your CV somewhere, if someone sent me a CV and they told me that they were referred by someone that I know, I am more likely to take that CV seriously than a CV that someone just applied. And even research has showed that people who are referred are 80% likely to get the job than someone else who was not referred. So that goes to show you the importance of building strong, networking first, because it's through the networks that you're going to build the strong professional relationships. And I don't know how you network. And maybe you can tell me in the comment section, like, are you in a sport? Do you play golf? Do you swim? Do you play tennis? Are you a runner? And what are the avenues and platforms that you use to network? Maybe you can tell me in the comment section. All right. So as you're telling me that in the comment section, so maybe we can talk about the last thing, which is career transitions, but please just let me know in the comment section. Please tell me in the comment section about how you network. So the last thing the last nuggets I want to share with you is on navigating career transitions. And some of us, we are probably transitioning from either probably you are a stay-at-home mom and now you're transitioning back to the workforce, or you were self-employed and now you're transitioning back to the job market, or you're taking a hiatus and now you're transitioning back to the job market. What are some of the things that you want to consider when you're transitioning? And the first thing is the personal brand that we've talked about. Every time you are in a transition, you want to ensure that you have good CVs. And when I talk about CVs, I'm talking about that you have two types of CVs. You have the modern CV that you use when you're sending to a particular person or a specific email address, and you have an ATS CV that you can upload online, because many organizations now are using a software to shortlist CVs. So you need a CV that is ATS compliant, and you need another CV that is tailored for a human being. And then, of course, also the LinkedIn profile is going to be very important. The other thing that is going to be key also is that you prepare for interviews. You want to prepare answering questions like, tell us a little bit about yourself. What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? Why is there an employment gap on your CV? During the break, what are some of the skills or experiences that you're able to gain? Why do you want to work for this organization? Why are you the best candidate for this position? What is your salary expectation? So every time you're going through a transition, you need to be able to answer some frequently asked interview questions, because they are going to determine whether or not you get a job. Every time you are going through a career transition, you want to have a discussion with your mentor, because mentors are important because they set you up for success. This is someone who is probably 5 or 6 years ahead of your career trajectory, and they're able to guide you appropriately. So they'll tell you, this is the route to follow. Don't go left, because if you go left, there's turbulence there. So you are able to save a lot of time by having a mentor, because they're able to guide you. And the last thing that you want to think about when you're navigating any career transitions is you need to keep yourself updated with what is happening in your chosen career. So whether it's you're in business development, or you're in the tech space, you are in healthcare, you are an engineer, what are the current trends in that space? And are you up to date with them? And if you're not, can you do a course to make sure that you are up to date? Because remember, employers want to hire someone who is plug and play. They don't want to hire you and then they have to train you. So you'll need to ensure that if there's a course, it doesn't have to be a degree. from experience, one of the things that I've come to learn is you can do a certificate, and this one certificate can set you up more than a master's or a PhD program somewhere. So as long as it's like a certificate course or a diploma course or whatever, but it's in line with your career trajectory and it's in line with what you're trying to do, it can really go a long way in your career transition. So that's all that I had for today. I think I will get the questions and answer later, because I think I've taken so much time. Jennifer, back to you.
Thank you so much, Joan. I will just briefly move into some of the critical skills that we think about when it comes to career success. So, at Nexford University, in all of our courses and our offerings, we are embedding critical skills that you need to succeed in your career. And we identify those skills in our partnerships with different industry. As you may have seen specifically in Kenya, we have the new partnership with the Federation of Kenyan Employers. And so some of those skills like that the World Economic Forum has identified include analytical thinking, creative thinking, resilience, flexibility and agility, curiosity, technological literacy, empathy, and active listening. These are just a few examples. And what I really like, and you'll see this in our follow-up message, with our courses, you can see each of the skills that you're going to gain when you enroll in the different offerings that you will have by the time that you finish them. So it's really helpful and important that we're developing this self-awareness about what we know and what we don't know, and then setting ourselves up for success for how to achieve those skills. And Joan talked about this, by asking, what have you chosen or stumbled into with your career? What excites you? Does your work excite you or does it not? And oftentimes when we're looking at our career paths, it's helpful to think, what do I want my life to look like? And when you set that end goal, then you can build toward it through different goals, which we'll talk about in a moment, and build skills that are going to help you achieve what it is that you've set out for yourself. So I'll briefly talk about setting achievable career goals before we move into my colleague Mai, who's going to do a brief virtual a demo of our learning platform, a virtual tour, that is. So when you've probably heard about SMART goals, so goals that are specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time-bound. And I wanted to put a specific example, here on the slide so that you can see, when we're talking about specific, it's, I want to become a product manager in a technology company within the next 2 years. That's very specific. It's not just becoming a product manager. It's not just, one element of it. You're actually really digging into the details. Measurable, I'm going to be able to track my progress toward this goal by completing relevant coursework, gaining relevant work experience, and networking with other people in my field, like what Joan talked about of building that network. And making sure it's achievable. It's not saying I'm going to become an astronaut in the next 2 years. It's something that might already be in your realm, or you're able to take a different program to either pursue your MBA or a certificate to achieve this goal. So, I can acquire the skills and knowledge necessary by taking online courses, for example, on product management, completing an internship or an entry-level position in a related field, and actively seeking opportunities to collaborate with product teams, maybe in your current role. And relevance. So this is, becoming a product manager aligns with my passion for technology, problem solving, and leadership, and it will allow me to contribute to the development and success of innovative products. So that's what relevance means there. And then time bound, setting specific time frames. So, saying within 2 years, and then thinking, how much time am I dedicating either per week, or if you want to get as granular to say as per day, to achieving that goal through, through learning and through study. So this is a really high level on some of the critical skills that we have seen that are necessary for career success, and then what it means to set achievable career goals. So I want to turn it over now to my colleague Mai, who's going to show us what it looks like behind the scenes when, if you choose to enroll at Nexford University to hopefully unlock your own career success. So I will see, are you there coming off camera? And please do put your questions in the Q&A, and we will get to those if we have a little time at the end. So I will stop sharing here and turn it over to you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jennifer. I'm super excited, guys, to be giving everyone a little virtual tour of the online learning platform and experience at Nexford. So I will just shortly share my screen. To just give everybody a little introduction about myself. So I'm a senior Nexford application specialist, and I've been with Nexford for almost 4 years now. And during that time, of course, I've heard so many different questions about the online learning experience at Nexford, and people specifically always want to know how exactly they would be studying online at Nexford and how different the Nexford learning experience is. So I hope to be able to share with you guys as much as I can about that day, and of course, prepare your questions for the rest of everyone at the end of it. All right, I'd love with a show of hands as well, if people can raise their hands just to confirm that everybody can see my screen just fine and that they can also hear me just fine. All right, see 3 participants, 4. All right, awesome. Many people are raising their hands. I'll take that as a good sign to move forward. Okay, so what everyone is currently looking at is the homepage of the main dashboard of our online learning platform. So the learning management system we use at Nexford is called Canvas, and it's a super user-friendly platform, and it is the same platform that is used by Ivy League universities. So you will need a laptop or a desktop when working on your projects, of course, but I want everyone to know that there is also a mobile application called Canvas Student, and anybody can download this. So you don't only have to have an Android phone, you can have an iPhone, of course, and also be able to download this application. So you can use the mobile application to go through your modules wherever you are, and that's a great benefit of it. But of course, it is much easier to have a PC or a laptop to do your studying. So it's important to note that while everybody's welcome to download the Canvas Student application now, you would not be able to access your online Nexford program until you've actually applied and enrolled at Nexford. So once you apply or get enrolled, that is when you get your login information, and you should be able to access our online platform. And it's going to have the same, fun colors of yellow, black and white of Nexford. So it's going to look quite like our online, platform on the browser, PC or laptop right here. So I'm back in the main dashboard right here, and I just want to let you know the left side navigation pane here will follow you no matter where you go in the online platform, as you can see. So anytime, just click on dashboard and it'll take you back to the home page here, where you'll see these boxes represent either courses that you're enrolled in at Nexford or resources you always have access to. So for example, of course, I'm not an Nexford learner, so this is just a demo account, but what I have up here is the NXU orientation. NXU stands for Nexford University, and the orientation is a very short course. So it is something that is not included in the main curriculum of the program that you would get enrolled in at Nexford. Rather, it's sort of your welcome package, which you would need to complete before you even get started. So I will show you guys how that looks like in a second. I just want to explain also these other boxes, like I said, represent courses. This is an example of an MBA course called Leadership and Organizational Development. This one is an example of a BBA course called Roadmap to Success. So I'll just show you quickly Leadership and Organizational Development. How it looks in the inside is pretty similar to all of our courses. So you'll see a table of contents here with the same contents and just an overview of the course. You can find a course syllabus, which is super useful, that is included in every single course. It gives you a bigger idea, what the course is all about, what skills and competencies you are to gain from taking this course, as well as the course outline. And of course, everybody will be well aware of the grading scale at Nexford, as well as, what kind of support they can receive, who they can reach out to, when you need to participate, if you need any technical support, and so on. So the syllabus is something that is included in every single course. But if you jump to the module section, this is where I want to show you the difference between any standard Nexford course and the orientation that I will jump to shortly. So you'll see here that this has 6 modules. So that is module 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and then a final project. So every single course at Nexford is designed in the same way. It has 6 modules, 5 of which have assignments that you need to complete that you would get graded on, and then finally there's a final project that you need to complete as well and would get graded on. So that is a total of 6 graded assignments that form your grade at Nexford. So it's not like traditional universities. Your grading isn't dependent on exams. We don't actually have exams at Nexford. Rather, we give you assignments and final projects in which you can really showcase the skills that you're gaining through the program. I know we don't have a lot of time here, so I'll try to wrap things up in the last remaining minutes. I'll show everybody just real quick how the orientation looks like. Like I said, it has module 1, 2, and 3, so it's much shorter. And if I jump to the introduction part of the orientation, you'll see from the beginning there is a welcome video from our founder and CEO, Fadl Tarzi. I would have loved to play that for you guys, but hopefully you can watch it in its entirety once you get enrolled at Nexford. Just want to show you that how things pop up and how different and dynamic the learning experience is at Nexford. So there's always something to keep you engaged. We don't want our learners falling asleep. So you'll see that there are different and dynamic elements through which you're going to be doing your studying. So there are going to be embedded videos like these. There can also be audio clips, blog length articles, little exercises here and there, and other things that always pop up and keep you engaged. So from the beginning, we tell you about things you can join that can really help you with your learning journey, such as joining these Nexford learning communities, which are led by other learners who are experts in certain fields of which you may have an interest in. So if you're interested in entrepreneurship, for example, I would recommend joining that. If you're into finance, HR, or marketing, then you can join those learning communities instead. And then, of course, we have WhatsApp learner groups. So these are exclusive to learners. Once you become a learner, you can join them. We have so many that can be country specific, program specific, or intake specific. So I recommend definitely joining the WhatsApp group that you would like to join. You can even start up your own if you cannot find a WhatsApp group in your country or for your intake, for example. So this is the orientation or the introduction part of the orientation, guys, and it tells you more about the different university policies. So you're going to learn very well from the start how you can add more than one course at the time and finish your program faster, how the courses are ordered. Of course, you're going to learn about if anybody needs to take a break from their program. We understand that life happens, so anybody can take a break anytime. The duration of that differs depending on the Nexford program that you're enrolled in. But everybody will also, of course, be aware of enrollment, participation deadlines, as well as assignment deadlines. So you'll know all about that. And of course, you will not be alone during your Nexford, studying. You will have a team of support 24/7, and that includes faculty members, and it also includes success advisors. You will be very well aware of success advisors during your Nexford journey. They can serve as your coach or mentor throughout your Nexford program. So any question you have about the online learning experience, or maybe you're struggling with the online platform or otherwise, they are there to help you. They'll be more than happy to help you. In fact, they often reach out to you before you even think to reach out to them. So of course, there are success advisors. We also have a writing coach on board. So we know that not everybody's a natural born writer. Anybody can reach out to our writing coach, Caroline Fernandez from the Writing Lab, which is one of the boxes which I mentioned is one of the resources you always have access to. So if you go to the Writing Lab, here you're going to see that it helps you with anything related to academic writing or English skills. And you can book a one-on-one session with Caroline to answer any questions you have in relation to writing. All right, so it takes you to this booking page with her where you can pick a date, you can pick a timing, and you can book. And it's that easy to have a session with our Writing Lab coach. Of course, there's so much I want to unravel for everybody here, but that is just a quick overview of the online experience and the types of support that you get. Of course, there are a lot of times. We have an NXU library also, which is a robust library of over 60 million resources that can help you throughout your studying and can serve also as a research tool. But I think I can wrap this up just by quickly talking about just the application and enrollment process at Nexford is that the thing to keep in mind is if anybody is planning to start their intake next month, then the date you need to keep in mind is the 28th of this month. So the 28th of any month is the enrollment deadline to join the upcoming intake. That is an important date to keep. The application process and enrollment process is super easy. We have a ton of information on our website and a ton of information if you reach out to our team, our Nexford application specialists on WhatsApp, or even our help inbox. They would be more than happy to clarify, of course, the application and enrollment process for you, because they do vary, but they are succeeding steps. So you need to first apply, submit, your application and the required information, as well as a one-time $30 application fee. And then once you've submitted your application and hopefully received a positive application decision, you can move on to the enrollment stage, which requires often that you pay at least the first month of your chosen program tuition and choose a start date. You can choose a future start date up to 4 months ahead. And I would recommend doing that just to secure your spot, even if you plan to start your program a little further ahead. But again, please don't hesitate to reach out to our team for further assistance on this anytime. And of course, if anybody has further questions, I think everybody knows where to reach us. And I hope this gave everybody just a little overview of the online learning experience. And I hope to speak with everyone a little more about it at another time. So thank you, Jennifer.
Thank you so much, Mai, and thank you, Joan, for joining us. And to everyone who made the time today to be here, we are really grateful. This has been a super engaging session. I think we've learned a lot from Joan, how to unlock our career potential. Hope you've gotten some good takeaways. If you want to let us know in the chat, you'll be getting a copy of this presentation in a follow-up email along with the recording, so you can listen in, go back, rewind and listen to different snippets. Share your takeaways if you want on social media and tag us so we know. But we, again, really appreciate here at Nexford University that you made the time today to be with us, and we'll look forward to hearing from you. Take care. Thank you so much.